That Euros final to Spain. Here's a look at his statement. The squad we took to Germany is full of exciting young talent, and they can win the trophy we all dream of. I am so proud of them. I look forward to watching and celebrating as the players go on to create more special memories and to connect and inspire the nation as we know they can. Thank you, England, for everything. All right, Zat, our Englishman at the desk. What is your initial reaction to Gareth Southgate?
Give it to me real.
Stepping down.
I think it's a right choice for himself.
Why?
I think that England fans gave him a lot of abuse over the last few years, and he's been England's best manager, I feel. Getting to, 2 finals and a semi-final. Yes, we didn't have the best Euros. We didn't play particularly well, but we got to a final, and I think in tournament football, you just want to get through to the next round. I think he can walk away, hold his head very high, and give himself a bit of time off right now and see what his next move is. But I'm proud of him, very proud of him.
Chuck, how do you feel about Gareth Southgate stepping down?
I think it was obviously the right decision from the manager to say, you know what, I've done all I could do with this squad, and I'm ready for this next chapter of my life. And if you look at his matches, I mean, 64 wins and 18 losses, 20 draws. That's a fantastic record for an international manager. And you know, you get into a Europa League, European final, and you get to a World Cup quarterfinal, you get to another World Cup semifinal, and you lose in a Euro final. That's a pretty damn good resume. Of course, you don't win the trophy, and the English, I think, media always take it out of proportion. But I think from just a number standpoint, if you're looking at the resume of what he's been able to do with this English side, that's pretty damn impressive. But then you got to look at the quality that England has, you know, the talent that they have, and I think, you know, are they deserving of a trophy?
Yeah, but I think we've had better talent and haven't done as well. I think the generation with the David Beckhams and Gerrards, I think was better squads, and we never.
You think the 02 squad or the 06 squad was better?
6. Yes, 6. Yeah, but never done anything like this. You know, so that's why I feel Gareth can walk away with his head held high and be proud of what he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's heightened when you don't win.
Yeah.
Especially in England when the men's team hasn't won since '66, right? And there's a certain expectation because English football sets a standard, and that standard sometimes isn't met by their national team because the Prem is the most marketable, it's the most attractive, and then the national team doesn't fulfill like you expect them to fill. And what's expectation? It's winning. That's how football is because we're in a results-driven business. If you look at the manners in which you get there, it's different. Maybe this Euro is an exception to all of that, but the feeling is heightened when you don't achieve, and especially if you come so close, like your Gareth Southgate. So I agree with you that he pulled off getting to certain finals and competing in almost every major tournament, close to achieving the final. But when you mentioned the project, and you mentioned him stepping away for himself because of the abuse, the project also by the end of this Euro felt stale. It felt like it had run its course and that it needed a change. So
fresh ideas.
This was he alluded to it at the beginning of the tournament. Also, win or lose, the time to walk away, like this was the end of the road, win or lose. And sadly, it came with a devastating defeat at the final.
Could you give me a statement win from Gareth Southgate? Is there a match that you look back throughout his career as the England manager and say, that was him? That's his staple as the England coach?
I don't think there's a statement win for him. I think it's how the players pulled together for him, especially after a few years ago when they had that penalty shootout and went out, and how they galvanised back and
see, for me, that says it all.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't tell me out of those 64 wins, there's not one match that comes to mind.
Oh, but the run in the 2018 World Cup was good.
Yeah, but can you give me a statement win? Is there a match that you'd say, damn, Gareth Southgate showed his quality there? whether it was a tactical change in-game, a substitution that changed the match for them, the timing of it. Is there one match that comes to mind?
There's not. I don't think there's a match, no. But just looking back at everything, you know, if someone said we're going to have 2 finals and a semi-final before he took over, we would have grabbed that, and that's what he's provided for us. Yes, it hasn't been pretty football, but we've done well. And like what you said, we want a next manager to come in right now and push us over the line to try and get to a World Cup or a Euros.
Do you think had they won the Euros, had they won that final, his decision would have been the same?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think he's taken a lot. He's taken a lot. About 2-3 games ago, people was throwing beer cups at him. We got to a final, people are cheering him on, then he loses, and then people are hating him again. So I feel that if he did win, you win at the top.
Yeah.
And him losing, getting to 2 finals, you still walk away, and I still think have some pride.
It is interesting to me because you make it to a final, you make it to 2 consecutive Euro finals, and yet still, it's not necessary. We're not talking about it as a huge success for England. And so my question is it fair? Were the expectations too high?
I think the expectations were always to win, no matter what. With that group of players, to win.
But think about it. England haven't won in a long time. I'm not wrong. But why is it that there is always this expectation?
Similarly, in Argentina, for example, I want to draw a parallelism because something happened to Argentina before they started going on this unbelievable trophy streak. There was a point in time, let's go to 2014. I mean, honestly, up until 2021, there was a point in time that I had personally never seen the Argentinians men's national team, full national team, win a major title. Their last title was the Copa America in 1993, and then I was born. They had gone all that time without winning a major title. And what's the standard in Argentina? You think no one cares about second place. No one remembers second place, especially in a footballing nation like Argentina. Argentina reached a World Cup final and then 2 consecutive Copa America finals. That is an extraordinary feat that not many countries can pull off. So the mentality shifted in Argentina. There was a big change in how people perceive that as a success, not the ultimate success that you want. And similarly in England, that allowed the fans to galvanize a little bit behind the team. The team had to make strong statements against the fans,
Yeah, but when did that
against
change?
the media.
2014 World Cup final?
No, after the Copa America, the players took a stance. They stopped talking to media. There was a big power play by the players, and then they got behind the team. Messi had to retire from the national team for the fans to be like, wait. This is not from a rhetoric perspective where we want. So the parallelism back to what I'm seeing with England is that similarly, because they're such a devout football nation, a trophy is the only thing that matters. That's the only thing they want. No one cares for finishing in second place. But if the mentality, the focus, and the shift is different to understanding that, hey, we're still achieving something incredible here. Not settling for that, though, which is important.
And the argument always comes back
where
to,
it'll change.
Do you want to play pretty and win or play ugly and win? You know, because for England's standpoint, they were the favorites all the way up until the final. And you'd say maybe the pressure, along with Gareth Southgate, the pressure on Gareth Southgate forced them to play a more defensive, you know, not expansive and using the ability of all these star players that they have. It wasn't until the Netherlands game that you saw them open up. And did they finally feel that, we're in a semifinal, that we can play a little bit more free? And the Netherlands were, you know, pushing. They weren't sitting back. You weren't playing against teams also that were, you know, very conscious of the quality that England have.
I kind of go back to what you were saying. I agree with you. We have expectations for what reason? We haven't done anything. We haven't won anything since 1966. We've got great players individually. We don't have a great team. So our expectation, as a country, we don't move together. The pressure against the team. You're in a tournament, pressure hating against the team. Let's wait for the tournament to be finished and then scrutinise them. Don't do it during the tournament, and then you wonder why players are up and down. You know, we're only human. We have feelings, we have emotions. So to deal with that pressure, and then to go into a tournament while you're doing it as well, is tough. And then you'll go back home, and we see the English media is very aggressive.
And from that perspective, you can understand why Gareth Southgate was like, this is the time. I'm ready to kind of alleviate that pressure off my shoulders a bit. I've done all I can. What do you think is next for him, Zat? What direction do you think England will go in terms of their next manager?
For Southgate, I would like for him to take some quality time to himself. You know, rejuvenate himself. I would love to see him into club football. You know, see how the day-to-day of managerial.
Do you see him being a successful club
I think
manager?
so.
Yeah.
I think so. I would love to see him in England in the Premiership. I feel that he might step away and maybe go somewhere else, only because of what he done with England. But I would love to see him stay in England. I think he's done very well for England. I'm proud of him. I'm very proud of him, and he should be proud of himself.
Do you think he overachieved for the pedigree of manager that England got at the very beginning? He was someone who got relegated, who seemingly didn't have that breadth of experience that you expect in an England manager to manage these world-class quality players.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, could you see this as an overachievement
I think that's why
for Southgate?
I think that's why I'm proud of him, because he has overachieved. And when he walked in, people probably didn't think he was going to last 8 years. Probably didn't think he was going to get to a semi-final. Didn't think he was going to get to a final. But he's done that. So that's why if someone overachieves, you've got to be proud of that. If you had a kid and your kid overachieved, you're going to be proud of it. I mean, you're going to be proud of your kid no matter what. But to see your kid do better than expectations, it's a proud moment.
Yeah. I think there's a conundrum here, because you're spot on.
Yeah.
And it feels still for the general public that that's still not enough, right?
Yeah, that's underwhelming.
And that's why it's scary for me, because as I talk about it, I'm very passionate about English football. And I get goosebumps because for him to done what he's done and the media to come down in the way he's done and the way they have, I think it's sad. I think it's sad, you know, to get to where we got to, and the way they're treating him. I think it's a sad day.
Well, we're going to chat more on this with Anita Jones later on in the show. Again, in case you missed it, Gareth Southgate stepping down as the manager of England.